And this is our local media that you're on with here.
Okay.
And we'll just start by taking questions, and we're going to start first with Adam Teicher from ESPN. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Trent, congratulations and welcome to Kansas City.
Thank you.
Just curious how much contact you had with the Chiefs before the draft, and were you aware of their interest in you? And Brad, I'll have a second question as well.
Yeah, talked to them at the Combine, actually. Had a informal interview with them, spoke with the DC, Spagnolia. But then after that, didn't really have too much communication. So when I got that phone call, it was like, whoa, Kansas City, like, this is dope. So it was exciting when I got that phone call for sure.
Okay. And what do you know about their defense, the style of play, what Spagnuolo likes to do? What do you know about all that?
Man, I know that we're going to get turnovers. They're an aggressive defense. They've had a lot of great DBs there. And, I mean, the culture there is awesome. So I'm just excited to be a part of this organization and go about this defense however best I can.
Let's go next to Herbie Teope with the Kansas City Star. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, trying to echo Adam's sentiments there. Welcome to Kansas City.
You're
very welcome. You mentioned some of your interactions with the Chiefs, but how do you think your skill set, your specific skill set, fits with what Spagnuolo was going to expect of you in his scheme?
Yeah. Honestly, I look at myself almost like a Tyrann Mathieu type of guy, someone who's going to be able to go in and just play a bunch of different positions and just help out the team however I can. That's a big thing for me moving forward, is just going in there with the mindset of however I can get on the field, however I can help out this team, I'm going to do everything I can to do it. So I know that this organization has a great defensive mindset. So honestly, very excited to be a part of this team.
Let's go next to Nate Taylor with The Athletic. Go ahead, Nate.
Hello, Trent. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask you, when you talked with Steve Spagnuolo, what was sort of that chat like, and how much have you watched the Chiefs over the last few years, and just how much have you tried to model your game after Tyrann Mathieu?
Yeah. I mean, I actually just talked to Spagnolia today, and it was just a good conversation. He congratulated me. And I mean, moving forward, I was like, hey man, tomorrow, like, I want to know a play already. You know, I'm already trying to dive into this playbook to pick up as fast as I can. And I mean, moving forward, I'm just excited. Like, it's a mixed emotions. And going to this team, I mean, I've watched them literally playing the Super Bowl year in, year out. I mean, battling the playoffs all the time. So I know what kind of culture that they have established already, and being able to go into this type of culture, I feel like is going to help me succeed and be the best person I can be.
Let's go next to Pete Sweeney with 610 Sports. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Trey, congratulations. I was just wondering, and I wanted to follow up on the Tyrann Mathieu comment. And
Yeah.
And is he someone that you've always modeled your game after? And what gives you that confidence and maybe that positional versatility that you described?
Yeah. I mean, growing up, watching Tyrann Mathieu at LSU, he was one of those dudes where he wasn't the biggest, he wasn't the fastest, but he was always going to make a play. And that's something that I always try to do in my game, is just be that person who's going to flash on the screen, you know, be that guy who's always around the football, because I'm a football player and I want to create the best opportunities for my team. So watching Tyrann Mathieu and just how he became a leader, how he practices, how he played games, just the tenacity and heart that he gave is something that I can look at and try to model my game after.
All right, guys, we got four more. We'll go right down the line, starting with Harold Kuntz with Fox 4. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Trent, congratulations on coming to Kansas City, man.
Thank you.
I want to ask you about your number 22. I saw an interesting story about that, what that means to you, and how that family means to you, and how much that has motivated you in your football playing career.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. That was my oldest brother Tyler's number, who unfortunately passed away a few years ago. And so going to college, never asked for the number, just somehow got the number and just rocked with it. I was like, this is something that I'm able to share my story with, share part of my family, part of my history with the rest of the world. And I mean, moving forward, of course, I'd want the number. If I don't get it, it's okay. But I was able to let people know about my oldest brother, about our family. And that was something special to me, and some that I'm always going to be able to live with at UW.
Let's go next to Matt Derrick with Chiefs Digest. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Trent, like everybody else, congratulations on a big night. You mentioned your family. What was your draft night like? What were you doing, and what did that moment that you get the call mean to you after everything you and your family have been through?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I always knew. I mean, my family's huge. I feel like we're like the closest family ever. So during the draft, I wanted to make sure that my aunts, my uncles, my grandparents, just everybody was there. Everybody who supported me growing up throughout my football career was able to come enjoy this moment with me. And when I got the call, I saw Kansas City Chiefs, and I was like, hold on, let me step out. Talking to Coach Reed, talking to Spagnolia, talking to the Hunt family, and all of a sudden my family just starts screaming. And I'm like, hold on, like, what am I missing here? Like, what's going on? I run inside, and of course my name popped up on the screen, and everybody started screaming. I was like, give me a second, coach. This might take a minute or two. Like, when I got a chance to talk to you, I'll let you know. But honestly, it was just such an exhilarating moment, just being able to spend that time with my family. So it was awesome to be a part of that.
The last two, we'll start with Sam McDowell with the Kansas City Star. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Trent. I just wondered what you anticipated going into the night. I mean, was 21 a little bit further of a fall than you anticipated?
Honestly, I tell everybody this: going into the NFL draft, I wasn't looking at anything. I did not care where I went. I didn't care what round. I didn't care who I was going to. I was like, all I know is I just want to be on a team. Like, I just want to be a part of an organization. Give me a shot, and I'll do the rest. So, I mean, going into the night, wasn't stressed. Was just honestly here to be in the moment, enjoying my family. And fortunately enough, Kansas City Chiefs came and got me at 21. So super happy about that.
And last, Steve Walls, Sideline Sports Talk. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Trent, what's happening, man?
It's going good.
Hey, congratulations, first of all. And I just want to find out your conversations with Steve Spagnuolo. What was that like in week one? Will you be ready for the NFL?
Yeah. I mean, he pretty much just told me, of course, congratulations, happy to have me. We didn't talk too much because, of course, the night was going crazy. But I'm excited to go meet him tomorrow. I'm excited to sit down, start learning this defense, start learning about how I can help the team. And I mean, moving forward, shoot, I'm ready to go tomorrow. Like I say, like, I'm just ready to play football at this point. The draft's finally done. I finally have the team. So I'm ready to just jump out there, get with the team, and start building those bonds.
Trent, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, guys.
We'll see you soon.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. We're ready.
Okay, you're
George, you hear us okay?
I can hear you.
Beautiful. All right. Well, you look good in that hat, man. We're excited to have you.
I'm excited. I'm excited to be a Chief.
Well, we're going to get started. So this base, I think Sydney talked to you a little bit. This is our local media base. So we're going to just start it off and fire some questions at you, all right, if you're ready.
Sounds good. I'm ready.
All right, here we go. We'll start first with Pete Sweeney with 610 Sports. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, George, congratulations. I was wondering, yeah, no problem. I was wondering if you could describe your game for Chiefs fans and why you think it might be a fit in the Steve Spagnuolo defense.
It's relentless. You know, I get after the quarterback. I stop the run, and I feel like I'm a 3-down player. I'm an all-around player that could do everything and anything that's asked of him. You know, so I think I bring that to the table. I feel like I'm very, very consistent, and I feel like my best football is ahead of me. You know, so I think those are kind of the attributes of my game that I think the Chiefs were most excited about. You know, I've only been playing football for about 6-7 years now, so I'm really excited to develop, to be under, you know, great system, have great teammates, great organization. I couldn't have asked to be in a better situation.
Go next to Harold Kuntz with Fox 4. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, George, you mentioned your transition. I mean, what was it like, you know, coming from Greece and then finally getting to a point where you're in the NFL? How's that transition been for you, just learning a new sport, really?
Yeah, I mean, you know, looking back on it, you know, it's pretty crazy to think about. You know, I feel like, in more generally speaking, and I've always excelled in sports to a certain extent, you know, and, you know, football, you know, sort of came natural to me after I had a full year under my belt. You know, I shortly fell in love with it, but just looking back on everything, just had a crazy ride. And, you know, just like the French say, c'est la vie, right? That's life. So.
All right, we'll go next to Blair Kirkhoff with the Kansas City Star. Go ahead, Blair.
Hey, George, I'm just wondering what kind of communication you had with the Chiefs, and what have they talked about with maybe as a role for you on this team?
You know, I don't think we spoke specifically about roles, you know, other than kind of just doing what I do and bringing what I have to the table. You know, obviously I'm going to start off as the lowest man on the totem pole and work my way up. You know, I'm going to earn my stripes and work as hard as I possibly can, you know, and obviously there's a room with a lot of veterans, and I'm going to try to do everything I can to help the team win. You know, obviously, you know, I had some meetings more later on with the Chiefs, and I just couldn't have asked to be in a better situation.
Let's go next to Nate Taylor with The Athletic. Go ahead, Nate.
Hello, George. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I have 2 questions for you. Where does your relentlessness come from? And what was just your thought when you heard that you were going to be selected by the Chiefs?
Yeah, my relentlessness. You know, I'd say that's kind of how the way I was raised. You know, my parents pushed me to do just about every sport imaginable. You know, when you find when you find the one you love, work as hard as you possibly can at it. You know, and I feel like there's not a whole lot of sense if you're going to dedicate almost your whole life to doing something that you don't do it to the maximum, to your maximum ability every single time you're out there.
Let's go next to Matt Derrick with Chiefs Digest. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, George, congratulations.
Appreciate it.
You've mentioned a couple of times, you know, about love for football, and where did that love come from? What is it that you loved about the game that made you choose this over the other things that you were involved in?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I love everything about it. I love the off season. I like the mental and physical challenge and strain that, you know, the chess game. I like every single play is a single challenge, you know, both pre-snap, you know, after the ball snap, during, you know, the play, you know, whether it's executing your assignment, making the play, doing the right thing, having the perfect technique, and trying to do that over and over and over again and being perfect. You know, that challenge drives me, you know, because you do a sport, you know, like a sport that's repetitive over and over and over again. Eventually, you know, you get a pretty good rhythm going. And with this, you have a different stimulus every single time and a different challenge every single play. So that's what I love about it. But on top of everything else, you love the locker room, right? You love the connection and the bond you make with the teammates and everything that comes with that.
Last 4, we'll go right down the line, starting with Todd Lebo. Go ahead, Todd.
Hey, George, I wonder if you could tell me about when you first began playing football and what it is about the game that you love so much that had you pursue it.
You know, I think the physicality on top of how much athleticism played a role in it. You know, I've always been bigger, you know, faster and stronger, especially growing up, in Greece and then moving to Indiana, I was always, one of the more, if not the most athletic guys, so that, initially I was like, I was doing it for the social aspect. I was like, I got to be better than these guys. I know I'm tougher. I know I'm bigger. I know I'm faster. I know I'm stronger. So that, a lot of time you gravitate to what you're probably going to be good at, but after that, just completely fell in love with just everything I mentioned before.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher with ESPN. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, George, congratulations. You kind of touched on this a minute ago, but just hoping maybe you could elaborate. How did you get into football? What was it that led you in there? Are there some stories you can pass along about that?
Yeah, at first I didn't want to play. My dad had walked on at the University of Miami and he got hurt. He got a pretty bad head injury. So I was, at first cautious about playing and almost scared to a certain extent just because I didn't really know much about the game at all. Didn't know what a stance was, didn't know what a first down really was either. And after talking with people I trusted, I knew, coaches, teammates, friends, I just started out just as a sport, something to do. And for the social aspect, after that, I fell in love with it about a year or so later.
Next to Steve Walls. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, George, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Hey, you did an interview at Purdue, and you said something by the lines of, I believe, prove them wrong. You also have that in your Twitter bio. Can you explain that? And is there something that you feel that you are been disrespected at all, or you need to prove people wrong?
My whole life, I've had doubters. I've had and maybe at certain times it hasn't been a whole lot of them. Maybe. But there's always people that are like, oh, he's not really that good, or oh, he didn't really do that good of a job, and guys like, oh, he won't do this, oh, he won't do that. Well, for me, it's always prove those guys wrong and prove the people that trust in you, believe in you, and love you, prove them right. So it's all about that. And specifically to this day, 29 guys went before me, and I'm going to prove the teams and the people making those picks that I deserve to be the first guy off the board.
And we'll go last to Vahe Gregorian from the Star. Go ahead, Vahe.
Hey, George. Welcome.
Thank you.
Just, I wonder if you could tell us a little about your water polo career, and then I'll have a follow-up question.
Yeah, I started playing maybe when I was in third grade. Swimming was my very, very first sport. I've been swimming since I could walk, maybe a little before then too. Obviously being from Greece, it was pretty critical to be really good at swimming. So started out just for something to do. My dad was throwing stuff at me. I was at the age where I was kind of trying to find what I loved, starting to focus in on sports a little more, taking it more seriously, those kinds of things. And first few years I wasn't really good. I wasn't really too into it. And then just had an epiphany, just like, hey, I'm really good at this now. It just kind of sort of came out of nowhere. I a couple things clicked, and then I was, this kid's pretty good. And then practiced all the time from 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock at night every single day. I was practicing with the men's team with people that were older, and that was something that was really, really good for me, practicing and playing against people that were older than me and better than me, bigger, faster, stronger. So
I think we had a follow-up from Vahe. 1 second here. Okay, Vahe, you're unmuted. Go ahead.
And just sort of related to all that, George, I wonder how much you still identify as being Greek, and what that transition was like for you at age 13 to come here.
I don't know if it's much of a identification. I'm a Greek citizen. That's that. Extremely proud of being Greek. Half my family's Greek, half my family's American. So I'm kind of both, and I'm extremely proud of that. Extremely proud of my heritage, both Greek and American. And yeah, I'm Greek.
And when you came here at 13, what was that? What was that like for you overall?
It was that was probably the most difficult year or 6 months of my life. I lost my dad shortly before that, and transitioned and moved to a whole different country, made new friends, learned new things. Grammar and everything like that was completely different. School was different. Everything was different. Sports were different. So that was very, very hard. But I made the adjustment shortly after.
All right, George, I think that's all we got.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you jumping on with us. I'm
Yep.
going to be in touch with you and Sydney here real quick as it relates to flights and logistics. So once we jump off here, let's get on the phone real quick, okay?
All right.
Okay.
Should we just do that here?